General warm-up and flexibility. Warm-up and cool-down. A warm-up of the body prior to exercise is encouraged to prepare for the increase in stress that lies ahead. A proper warm-up will improve performance and decrease the chance of injury. In addition, a cool-down gives the body a period of adjustment from exercise to recovery. Warming up can be divided into two basic categories, general and specific. General warm-up. A general warm-up involves exercising the major muscle groups of the body under light or minimal loading. These movements should be general in nature and not related to movements in the training session itself. Some examples are jogging, riding a stationary bicycle, jumping jacks, general form running, or light calisthenics. The warm-up should be intense enough to increase the body core temperature and cause perspiration, but should not cause fatigue. A thorough warm-up will improve performance through the following mechanisms: increased rate and strength of muscle contraction, increased muscle coordination through related movements, increased metabolic rate, increased efficiency of the neuromuscular system, increased work capacity, improved cardiovascular and respiratory efficiency, reducing the possibility of injury through increased muscle elasticity and improving the joint range of motion. Following the general warm-up, the athlete or coach may choose to implement a flexibility routine. Flexibility exercises are those exercises that increase the range of motion of a joint. Flexibility exercises succeed the general warm-up because the increase in the tissue temperature will make the stretching both safer and more productive. Cold muscles injure easily, and stretching them before they are warm can produce stretching and tearing injuries. Specific warm-up. A specific warm-up should always follow the general warm-up in stretching. The specific warm-up relates to activities specific to the weightlifting movements in the training session. Depending on the exercise, athletes may choose to use no weight, a light broomstick or stretching stick, or the bar when performing these exercises. The athlete should focus on full range of motion through each movement. Basic weightlifting exercises. Front squat. The lifter has taken the bar from the rack and assumed the starting position. The lifter places the feet wider than hip width apart and turns the toes out slightly. The barbell is resting on the shoulders and upper chest with the elbows pushed up to ensure a stable position. The lifter takes a deep breath and holds it while keeping the chest elevated throughout the whole movement. Then, by bending the legs, the lifter moves into a full squat position. The lifter pushes the knees forward and the trunk remains upright. From this low position, the lifter straightens the legs and returns to the starting position. Once there, the lifter exhales and then resets for further repetitions. Once the set is complete, the lifter places the barbell back onto the racks. The reason the lifter backs out from the rack initially is so that when the set is completed and fatigue has set in, the lifter can walk forward to replace the barbell, which is much easier and safer. Power clean. This exercise is fundamental to weight training as it initiates the development of pulling the barbell correctly. Introduction in progressive stages and the core exercise is initially broken down into easily taught parts. Mid-thigh. The lifter grasps the barbell with a shoulder-width grip, inflates the chest, and sets the back. The lifter slightly unlocks the knees and then, moving from the hips only, lowers the barbell until it touches the middle of the thigh. This back setting is crucial to successful lifting, and the coach must teach it correctly to the lifter from the start. The lifter then extends the body upward in a violent motion, all the time shrugging the shoulders and keeping the arms straight and rising up on the balls of the feet. At the apex of the pull, the lifter pulls swiftly under the bar by bending the legs and rotating the elbows up and under the bar, fixing the bar on the shoulder and upper chest. This is the receiving position. Above the knee. Once the lifter can perform the clean from mid-thigh successfully, the coach can progress to the next stage. While still moving from the hips, keeping the chest inflated and the back flat, the shoulders move forward over the bar. In addition, it is imperative the lifter stay flat-footed as the bar is lowered to this position. The weight distribution is toward the heels. From this position, the lifter extends the body as before, allowing the bar to scrape along the thighs, and pulls the barbell into the receiving position. Once the coach decides the movement is efficient, the lifter can be progressed to the next stage. Below knee. In this progression, the lifter lowers the barbell steadily to the below knee position. The knees must bend slightly more to get into the starting position. The lifter initially begins to move the barbell by straightening the legs or pushing the knees back. This allows the lifter to get the barbell into the above knee position. From here, the hip and knee extensors pull the barbell into the receiving position by extending the body upward. Again, the lifter allows the barbell to scrape the thighs. The majority of athletes spend more time training on this stage before moving on to the final progression. Floor. The lifter approaches the barbell while it is on the platform and adopts the starting position. The lifter again sets the back and rotates the elbows out to the sides while the arms remain straight and the shoulders are in advance of the bar. From this position, by pushing with the legs and extending them, the barbell moves upward, increasing in acceleration and finishing with a violent shrugging movement while rising up on the balls of the feet and finishing in the receiving position. Press behind neck, jerk grip. The lifter takes the bar out of the racks and places it across the shoulders into the starting position. The width of the grip is slightly wider than the shoulders, or the same width as the power clean. The bar should rest on the shoulders and trapezius of the lifter and not actually the neck. Before beginning the movement, the lifter takes a deep breath and fills the lungs to set the chest. From the starting position, the lifter pushes the barbell up until the bar is at arm's length. The movement should finish with the barbell above the lifter's ears. The lifter takes a deep breath and holds it until the barbell has returned to the starting position, when the lifter breathes out steadily. Determining the grip width for the snatch. In learning the snatch and using the relevant exercises to develop the skill and strength to perform it properly, the following may be useful. All lifters use a wide grip in the snatch to perform the movement as efficiently as possible. It also encourages the development of balance and awareness of holding weights overhead. As a guide to the width of grip to use, the lifter holds the upper arms horizontal and the coach measures the distance from elbow to elbow across the athlete's back. This distance is then marked on the barbell. The lifter should grasp the barbell so these marks lie between the first and second fingers. The coach may also measure the distance from the athlete's fist, which is extended to the opposite shoulder. The coach then measures this distance out evenly on the barbell. Keep in mind, adjustments for comfort and individual differences are appropriate. Press behind the neck, snatch grip. Athletes learn this exercise in exactly the same manner as the press behind the neck, jerk grip, except for the width of the grip. The bar should again rest on the shoulders and trapezius of the lifter and not the neck. The lifter again takes a deep breath before setting the chest. From the starting position, the lifter pushes the barbell up until the bar is at arm's length. The movement should finish with the barbell above the lifter's ears. The finishing position is of special importance with this exercise. The arms are totally extended and the barbell is above the lifter's ears in a very steady and balanced position. Back squat. Once again, the lifter takes the barbell from the squat rack and positions it upon the trapezius and upper shoulders. The grip width may vary in the back squat with different individuals, but a grip width outside the shoulders is normal. It is important at this point to draw the shoulders back, causing the musculature of the shoulders to contract. The musculature, and not the vertebrae, then support the barbell. Again, the lifter's feet are wider than the hips, and the toes turn out slightly. The lifter takes a deep breath to inflate the chest to further set the body position. Then, holding this position and keeping the trunk upright, the lifter descends to a full squat position. From this position, the lifter stands up and returns to the starting position. The lifter will exhale when the repetition is complete. Power snatch. The basis of performance of the power snatch is pulling a barbell from the platform to arm's length above one's head in one continuous motion. Like the power clean, teaching the power snatch in progressive stages is appropriate so that beginners always find themselves in a success-oriented learning pattern. Mid-thigh. The lifter places the feet hip-width apart, turns the toes out slightly, and grasps the barbell with the wider grip discussed earlier. The lifter stands erect while holding the barbell with straight arms, and the bar touches the upper thigh or lower abdomen. The lifter then rotates the elbows out and, with a slight bend in the knees and moving from the hips, lowers the barbell to the mid-thigh. From this mid-thigh position, the lifter will extend the body upwards in a violent movement, extending the hips, shrugging the shoulders, and rising up on the balls of the feet. The lifter will exert so much force onto the barbell that it continues to rise up as the lifter pulls himself onto the barbell. After jumping onto the bar, the lifter will receive the bar at arm's length above the head. Above knee. Once the lifter is handling the power snatch from mid-thigh efficiently, the lifter lowers the barbell to knee height. Once again, the lifter is moving from the hips, and the shoulders will move forward and over the bar while staying flat-footed. Again, weight distribution should be toward the heels. From this lower position, the lifter snatches the bar to arm's length and catches it in the same receiving position as before. This allows the bar to scrape along the upper thigh or lower abdomen. Below knee. The next progression is to lower the barbell to a position which is below the knee but not actually touching the platform. In addition to moving from the hips and bringing the shoulders forward over the bar, the lifter also has to bend the knees a little more. As with the power clean, the lifter begins the movement by straightening the legs or pushing the knees back. The lifter then pulls the barbell straight up, allowing it to touch the high thigh or lower abdomen, and catches the weight in the receiving position after an explosive jump. Floor. The lifter places the feet hip-width apart under the barbell. The lifter grips the barbell evenly with the snatch grip. The back is set flat and the lungs are inflated. The arms are straight while the elbows rotate out to the sides and the shoulders are in advance of the bar. From this position, the legs and hips pull the barbell from the platform. As the barbell passes the knee, it accelerates the whole time until touching the upper thigh or lower abdomen. The barbell is then caught in the receiving position overhead. When performed correctly, the power snatch is an excellent exercise to build strength and power. Power assistance exercises. Snatch pulls. Snatch pulls, along with clean pulls, are fundamental exercises in weightlifting training, but have a high transfer value into power production. It is essential the lifter perform these pulls at maximum speed once the technique is efficient. The lifter assumes the start position. This is a balanced, strong position and is often termed the get-set position. Before moving, the athlete takes a deep breath and holds it throughout the movement. This action stabilizes the upper trunk as the inflated lungs act as a pneumatic brace. Leg extension initiates the pull, and the bar eases back from its original position over the balls of the feet to a position over the center of the foot as the knees move backwards. When the bar arrives at approximately the height of the knees, the angle of the back remains essentially the same as the get-set position. The leg extensors have now finished their work, and the extensors of the hip take over. As the hip extensors contract violently, the trunk moves into a vertical position and the knees rebend slightly. The bar should touch the upper thigh or lower abdomen. The lifter accomplishes this by staying on flat feet as long as possible. It is worth noting that at the apex of the pull, the arms are straight, the elbows are rotated out, the shoulders are shrugged, and the body is maximally extended. This final explosive movement is very important, and a great effort from the athlete to exert maximum force in this phase of the pull is essential. Clean pull. The performance of clean pulls is essentially the same as snatch pulls. However, important differences result from the difference in grip width and normally heavier weights on the barbell. The narrower grip does cause a difference in back angle in the get-set position and throughout the initial stages of the pull. At the completion of the explosion phase, the grip width affects the bar's height and the part of the body brushed by the bar. Pulling straps. Lifters use pulling straps because they not only save wear and tear on the lifter's hands, but also because fatigue in the grip often causes the lifter to tense up in the arms, causing premature arm bending and power reduction. Using the straps enhances the lifter's ability to keep the elbows relaxed and straight. Lifts and pulls from any position and from blocks. Coaches can incorporate lifts or pulls from any height or from the blocks. Coaches can implement these to emphasize certain start positions or to assist lifters who may have difficulty through certain aspects of the pull. In addition, pulls or lifts from different positions and from blocks can add variety to the workout to prevent staleness, especially for younger lifters. Push press behind neck. Once the athlete's shoulders and arms have been strengthened by a progressive overload program and the basic exercise, press behind neck, the athlete can now be introduced to the more coordinated and power-producing movement, the push press behind neck. A jerk width grip, slightly wider than shoulder width, for the performance of the push press behind neck is correct. Instead of just pushing the barbell up with the arms, the athlete now bends the legs and then straightens them violently to drive the barbell up from the shoulders. The arms coordinate by pushing up on the bar until it reaches arm's length, which is the finishing position. Once the movement is learned, the athlete should be able to handle much heavier weights than with the press behind neck. Push press. The athlete takes the bar from the squat rack and assumes the starting position. The lifter holds the bar on the shoulders and front of the chest with hands relaxed. The feet are approximately hip-width apart. It is essential the athlete breathe in, elevate the chest, and pull the chin in to facilitate as vertical a pathway for the bar as possible. Once these maneuvers have taken place, the lifter, staying on flat feet with the weight distribution toward the heels, bends the knees and pushes the barbell violently over the head. The extension of the arms is also coordinated to receive the bar overhead. RDL. This is a pure strengthening exercise for the muscles used in the second half of the pull for both power snatch and power clean. The hamstrings and gluteals fire concentrically and the erector spinae muscles isometrically. The lifter assumes the starting position. The lifter grips the bar with clean width spacing and the feet are in the pulling position. The lifter may use straps to accommodate grip strength deficiencies. From this upright position, with the bar resting across the thighs, the lifter sets the back, inflates the chest, and keeps it elevated. The lifter bends the legs slightly at the knee. Moving only from the hips, the lifter begins to lower the bar. The hips move back to preserve balance, keeping the center of gravity over the feet. The lifter lowers the bar to a position below the knees, but not touching the platform. This keeps the muscles in constant tension. From this position, the hamstrings, hips, and muscles of the back pull the barbell to the finishing position shown. The lifter must concentrate on keeping the back tight and flat throughout the lowering process and keeping the arms straight. The lifter holds his breath throughout the entire movement and upon completion of the repetition, exhales. Combination lifts. Following an adequate training period where the athlete has worked through all of the basic weightlifting and power assistance exercises to the satisfaction of the coach, combination lifts may be added. Combination lifts combine 2 to 3 previously learned movements. The athlete performs the movements in exactly the same manner as when done individually, and the coach instructs the movements in exactly the same manner. The coach can incorporate these lifts to increase work or anaerobic capacity. Some examples of combination lifts are power clean plus front squat, power clean combo, power snatch plus overhead squat, power snatch plus snatch pull, power clean plus push press, jump training. Jump training and plyometric training are methods used to improve explosive strength and reactive ability. The utilization of jump training to improve explosive strength and reactive ability for many different athletic movements is common. The adaptations that occur from this type of training have a high carryover to starting and acceleration during sprinting, jumping, cutting, tackling, lateral quickness, blocking, and many other applications where explosive power and quick change of direction are required. Jumps can be categorized as explosive or reactive. Explosive jumps aid in the development of power. Reactive jumps, or reactivity, simply means trying to change directions vertically or laterally as quickly as possible. Spending as little time on the ground is vital. This quality is essential in most sports. Beginners. All beginner plyometric exercises are ground-based, low in volume and intensity, and most of the exercises do not use equipment. When working with beginners, the emphasis should be on proper technique. Intermediate. The intermediate exercises are more complex than the beginner exercises as they proceed to build upon motor learning. Emphasis on proper technique should continue. In addition, the athlete should stress reactivity and explosiveness, while arm movement and coordination become more critical. Power and quickness develop through intermediate plyometrics. Advanced. Advanced plyometrics bring more difficulty and higher intensity. The addition of more stressful and coordinated movements, such as single leg movements and depth jumps, are examples. It is imperative the athlete is ready to perform these movements at this level because the likelihood of injury certainly will increase if the athlete is not prepared. The advanced level of plyometrics brings the most difficult and taxing jumps in regards to stress on the body and coordination. It incorporates spatial or kinesthetic awareness, or the ability to understand where one's body is in space. This is a very good quality to have in athletics. Many sports, such as gymnastics, diving, wrestling, and to some extent football and basketball, rely on understanding where one's body is in relation to the ground. Medicine ball training. Functional training methods have become increasingly popular compared to standard fitness training. The medicine ball is a tool that can have many training applications, such as improving general physical condition, improving core stability, and developing explosive power. Some of the most overlooked elements of development are core strength, stability, and joint mobility. The use of the medicine ball really attacks these areas. Athletes begin with simple, low-volume medicine ball exercises and progress to more advanced movements. As the athlete improves, the physical demands increase by incorporating exercises that are more difficult and increasing the volume. In addition, neglecting lower back strength versus emphasizing abdominal flexion is a factor. Failing to give attention to stability, flexibility, and mobility gives way to limited force production and increased chance of injury. A variety of medicine ball exercises are effective in improving hand-eye coordination of the younger athlete. Spending time bolstering the motor control of these athletes is crucial. Specific steps in affecting the hand-eye coordination, overall coordination, warm-up, and physical preparation for better conditioning and increased work capacity are vital. Utilization of the medicine ball in circuit training is common. It is appropriate for young beginning athletes as it provides significant resistance and offers a fun, dynamic training environment requiring the athlete to maintain balance and stability. For the older, more advanced athlete, it can serve as an excellent tool to develop explosive power or used as means to provide a light or recovery training session. We have broken down medicine ball exercises into 3 categories: throws, core, and dynamic. Throws. For the throws, USA Weightlifting suggests doing from 5 to 10 exercises, keeping the repetitions in the 10 to 20 range for each exercise with a ball that is challenging. Balls come in a variety of weights and sizes. Make sure the athlete chooses one which will elevate their heart rate and promote joint mobility. These throwing exercises work very well as a warm-up or as active recovery. Core. The core exercise volume is higher in relation to the throws. Again, the athlete should choose a ball that is challenging for the specified repetitions. Suggested repetitions may be in the 10 to 25 range for 3 to 5 sets using 2 to 4 different exercises. Dynamic. The dynamic movements are the third group of exercises. Since the objective is explosive power, 1 to 6 repetitions will suffice for 3 to 5 sets. The intensity, or the weight of the ball, will most likely be higher for most athletes. Again, focus should be on explosive power, so no movement should be slow. If the athlete is slow in changing direction and the jump or throw is not explosive, the athlete should use a lighter ball.